you're often limited time these days wisely, and you're going to spend that time doing things that are getting you closer to your goals. Maybe like at the end of an expansion when you have no more other goals left, you might go back and chase cosmetics or do things that, you haven't had a chance to just for completionist's sake. But
that's why I say, I know Maul hates this, but after you're done with the game, something we can nibble on is Mythic IO or climbing arena. Like that score we look at. How many of you guys like playing arena because you like to just climb, right? That's me, right? I like to climb. And that's the end game for me, kind of. I do enjoy the gearing progress. It's one of the most fun things ever. Especially in Classic WoW when you're doing dungeons together with your friends, PvPing to get honor gear. That's why I say start of the expansion is the most fun in any expansion because you just grind with your friends and play. But we got our own ways, our own definition of endgame, I guess. Some people like to collect stuff. Some people like to climb rating. That's why, never mind. I'm not going to touch that pet battle subject, man. Kai's effing up my YouTube video recommendations. What do you mean, man? They addressed Paladin issues here. Dude, that does not look like Paladin issues. Alright. You get where I'm going, though, right? Go into the pet battle thing? Okay, so players were asking to increase the pet battle interaction. And I was saying a way to increase interaction, like I don't care about pet battles, right? But if they wanted to increase interaction, I think adding a fun little rating system for pet battle would get some people interested in just playing it to climb rating. Yes. Nobody cares. I don't care either. I don't care either, but they love it when I talk about this. Maud has like a fetish. She wants to get like tied up and me talking about pet battles.
those feel like lost opportunities when there's
Added to mobile, I'll play a shit ton of it. But added to mobile with the rating, and more people will play it just to climb the rating. Like they'll get addicted and hooked on the rating and they'll play it, right? It's like people playing Overwatch, trying to go from silver to gold, gold to diamond, etc. You have a fetish about rated content? No, rating content is important to me, so I don't like how you pretend like it's not, where you actually like to raid and you like to climb IO scores and you like to do arenas, right? I know you like climbing, so I don't know why you try to pull yourself away from that. And especially in phone games, one of the most addicted in phone games, they all have a rating system. It's how people get hooked on the game. There's PvP modes, and you fight, battle against each other, and you climb points, right? Even my brothers, like, they play phone games because they're older and they have kids. They always talk about the rating system in the game. Like, oh, I'm climbing high. I'm like number 3 in this game, blah, 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 right? The rating in a game is pretty important in my opinion. So I don't like why you pretend like it's not important. Valorant, Dota, 99% play for rating. Exactly, man. Exactly. Exactly. Like Genshin, no, Genshin's more of like a solo enjoy relaxing gameplay, right? I don't think there's anything downside to adding a rated system in Pet Battle if they did it. Like, this is a topic that is not even important. But yeah. I'm saying it's not, but you act like literally the only content. No. It's not the only content. It's to increase participation, and I want you to know that, right? I don't think I'm wrong on this. I don't. Best part about Explore Collection Dungeon to play with my friend, I tend to be on and off WoW whenever I can. Time goes. Savix, they put reward, but rating and WoW aren't number chasing game. Everyone gets hooked on the latter placement. Don't ban me. I just like to see more. I love you too, Kaiser. Let's watch this, shall we?
there's something out there that has potential that's just underutilized.
Yeah. So where do you draw the line then in being incentivizing it via power?
Oh, you guys are like trolling, man. What the fuck is
that? Versus this gives you a cool mount. Do you see a distinct difference in participation? Because it's like, oh, they'll just look at it. And I guess a good example of this would actually be challenge modes. And I don't know if you know the participation rates there, which were purely cosmetic rewards, right? That's all that challenge modes gave you, was just a transmog. And did that come across as perhaps a failure?
Holy fuck, he's fast.
I don't think challenge modes were a failure. No, their participation was overall quite low.
Well, that's so cool. I love that.
It got a bit better. I want to say, if I remember, towards the end of Mists, I think we added a decent chunk of valor for doing challenge mode runs that helped, like, it helped justify it to people who were just looking to cap their valor for the week. They could at least work towards something else at the same time.
Holy, this guy's so fast!
Because I think it also, as someone who worked very directly on challenge modes, 10 years ago, it wasn't 30 people laboring to make this thing. It was, let's try an extra difficulty, let's add an extra overlay on the content we're already making, and for the people who got a lot of value out of it, a lot of enjoyment out of it, that felt well worth
3-minute SM run. 3 minute?
Yeah, you're correct. When we're looking at a major expansion feature like a Torghast, if that were only used by as many people as did Mist challenge modes, that would have been seen as a significant failure. It's like, we put a ton of time, design resources, engineering, art, iteration into this. If only 8% of our players did it, well then we should really we should have just put those resources into something else that 90% of our players were going to do, because we would have made more of our players happy. At the end of the day, like, that's the challenge we're trying to solve. It's, we have a finite team, even as we grow.
They're already here. What the hell? That was so fast.
We have this many person hours of work
took a shower.
that we've done this year.
I took a shower. That's why my hair looks better
those in the way that's going to make the most fun for the most players.
Well, one of the things with Dragonflight that's changing is because obviously part of what I would consider the failure of Torghast is that people felt. I know that one of the reasons I stopped playing was I'd log on to my alt, and it was like, okay, I kind of need to farm a legendary, I kind of need to conduits, I kind of need to do this. And as somebody, as I'm sure you're aware, I was a huge champion of Torghast. Like, I had a great interview with Morgan about Torghast, and then a lot of it changed. And I was like, this is just killing my soul. It made me very unhappy. It's like, where do you then, is that just a case of looking at alt friendliness for that? Or is this in Dragonflight where you actually have completely smashed this out of the park?
There's a few pieces to that. I think even aside from alt friendliness, which was clearly an issue there, I think
what he said is important. The soulless grind and having that anxiety, like, did I do everything for next week? I think they put way too much. They gotta control that better. They need to balance that better. But having nothing to do is bad too, right? But I don't think the chore should be something we should be logging in every day for. I think that's really, really bad. Mala, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate it, man.
$65.
Thank you. Mala, you could have won $1,000, man. I missed the random chance of finding a legendary Legion experience. That was fun too. It's not a Korean MMO. Yeah, I think Lost Ark probably has it the worst, where you need to like log in literally every day for homework. There is a rested system, but you get rewarded if you log in every day. I don't think that's how it should be.
I think that the mandatory weekly loop, the feeling that you have to do this basically
Savix, your shorts is popping off.
Essentially forever.
What did you do? I can't see it anymore. How did you do this, man?
If you put it off, I think that's something that got us thinking a lot about just the player psychology of how people approach mandatory things with expiration date, perceived chores, like that feeling of maybe it's